Now, the first scenario is a peace with a strong, secure Ukraine. Now, this outcome is one of Kyiv's preferred solutions. It's centered on solid deterrence to prevent future Russian aggression. While NATO membership would provide the strongest guarantee, resistance from key member states may necessitate alternate arrangements, such as bilateral security agreements or European troop deployments, which Germany has alluded to just today. To support Ukraine's recovery, the West would need to sustain military and financial aid. However, this scenario hinges on a critical question. Why exactly would Russia agree to it when they are slowly chipping away at Ukraine? Now, scenario number 2 is a ceasefire without a secure Ukraine. In this scenario, hostilities pause, but there is no robust deterrent against future Russian aggression. A fragile ceasefire along current lines could allow Russia to rebuild its military strength, while Ukraine faces internal challenges, including a divided political landscape and economic dependence on Western aid. This could leave Ukraine vulnerable to renewed Russian aggression, mirroring the flaws of previous ceasefire agreements like the Minsk Accords. Now, scenario 3 is a desperate Ukraine is forced to sue for peace. Now, if Russia continues its offensive and Ukraine can't replenish its losses, a desperate Kyiv might be compelled to seek peace to preserve its sovereignty. This obviously hinges on the fact that they lose all support from the West as well. In this scenario, Russia would hold the upper hand, imposing such demands as territorial concessions or constitutional changes that undermine Ukraine's independence. Now, this outcome would be deeply unfavorable to Ukraine, but could materialize if the balance of power tilts dramatically in Russia's favor. Now, scenario 4, Russia pursues total victory. If Russia senses that they have the momentum and there is weakness from the West, it might reject any peace deal entirely, aiming for complete domination. This outcome would depend on Russia's maximalist ambitions and could result in further devastation for Ukraine, but also could take Russia down its own path of devastation. And that brings me to scenario number 5. Russia faces economic collapse. In this scenario, which is the most ideal, Russia's prolonged war leads to an economic and social collapse similar to the Soviet Union's downfall after Afghanistan. Crippling sanctions, global isolation, and sustained military losses overwhelm Russia's economy, causing hyperinflation, resource depletion, and widespread domestic unrest. Protests and political fractures destabilize Putin's regime, while overextended Russian forces struggle with dwindling manpower, equipment, and morale. With its military and governance in disarray, Russia can no longer sustain its aggression and withdraws from Ukraine, leaving Ukraine to reclaim its territories back. Ukraine, bolstered by Western support, emerges as a resilient, independent state prepared to ally with the West, while Russia's collapse reshapes the global balance of power.